I'm Angela Williams, and welcome back to Voice Up for the Voiceless. We are a podcast that deals with a really tough issue of child sexual abuse and exploitation, and we are here for survivors to help in their healing, and we're here to give a voice to this really tough issue. And I'm here with my beautiful co-host. Introduce yourself.
Yes, I will. My name is Krista Marshall, and we are very excited to have a show with you today and kind of introduce you guys to what we are about to talk about. So I guess before we go in, do you want to go ahead and...
We have a great guest. I'm just tickled pink. We have a great guest for us, Tucker Penrod. He is the global strategist, global
outreach strategist.
That's a tough title, Tucker. Global outreach strategist for Sapria. Mm-hmm. And we're going to learn, and I'm so excited to see services for survivors because I think there's a lot of focus on children with child advocacy centers. Mm-hmm. But for adults, I think it just kind of gets lost. People don't know how to support adults. They kind of expect them to go to counseling, and that's where all their healing should take place. Yeah. So Tucker, help us today really learn so much about Sapria. I know it's an organization that is national and now global because you're the global strategist. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then we'll dive into Sapria.
Okay. Well, thank you both for having me, and thank you to your listeners and subscribers. We appreciate them tuning in, really to help just in the cause and the mission, right? The more that we talk about this, the more it can continue to get better. And so the more that join the fight and that rally around, the more impacts that we can make. My name's Tucker Penrod. Been with Sapria for about 5, 6 years. And I really kind of fell into it, but just love our organization, love our founders, love our mission. And you kind of hit the nail on the head to why Sapria exists, is that when our founders really started to look at the issue and to be able to create resources for adult survivors, there wasn't a lot of resources other than like paid therapy. Yeah. A lot of great resources for children that have been impacted and that are survivors. A lot of great resources for adults who are going through current crisis, but not a lot of resources for adults that are in a stable environment, but still day-to-day struggling in their healing journey from the childhood trauma of sexual abuse.
Wow. Well, tell us about Sapria. Like, tell us who they are, what they do, where the name came from. Sapria. It's an unusual name.
Yes. So Sapria was founded in December of 2014. Okay. So we just crossed our 10th year mark. Yay. So we're kind of celebrating that this year. This is our 10th year anniversary of being an organization. And like I said, our founders, Derek and Shalane Maxfield, amazing humans. Derek had built and sold a software development company, kind of looking for the next thing in their lives. They kind of didn't have to work again, really, but somebody close to them was impacted by child sexual abuse, and so they were talking about it one day, and Derek, was talking to his wife Shalane. Was like, it's not fair that she is feeling this way when it wasn't her fault. Right. She carries the shame, the guilt, all the heaviness of the trauma. And it was something that was done to her years ago, right? And so Derek was like, that's not fair. There needs to be somebody to do something about that. And that's kind of when the light bulb went off in Derek's mind of, we should create an organization where survivors can come in their healing journey, no matter where they're at in that journey, and be able to have resources to help them, further themselves in their journey and to find healing and to find hope, to find maybe once what was lost, what was taken from them, and be able to be supported in their life. And so that's what they did. They set out to found Sapria. Now Derek, to kind of be an entrepreneurial guy. He had already founded a software development company, sold that, And so they had income, or they had money, but they knew they wanted it to be substantial and to be just really sustainable. And so Derek's like, I'm going to start another company, and that'll help our income and afford us to be able to pour into this passion of ours to be able to help survivors. And so that's where a cosmetic company called Unique was born. And Derek was able to, create this and do really well within this space. And they launched Sapria just 18 months after they founded the for-profit makeup direct sales company. And that's kind of where I kind of came into the picture and got introduced to Sapria, because my wife was involved in the makeup cosmetic side and just wanted something to do. We had young kids at the time. She wanted something to do on her own. And so she found this direct sales company and started selling makeup. Really? And then as she got to know the company and the founders, she was like, Tucker, you gotta hear Derek and Shalaine's story. Like, this is pretty amazing what they're doing. And so I was fortunate enough to get to know them and just fell in love with the passion that they had around child sexual abuse. What a heavy, sensitive, taboo topic, but bringing so much healing and so much hope into so many people's lives. I was like, I want to be a part of something like that. Wow. And so I met them about 10 years ago. It was actually August 2015. So 10 years ago, and fell in love with the mission, the organization. We're based out of Salt Lake City. Okay. So being here local in Woodstock, Alpharetta area, we were big supporters and advocates, but not really anything to do for work for them other than that. But as time passed, there was an opportunity that came up in 2019, and I jumped from kind of my corporate job in kind of an event vendor management role. I was like, I'm jumping in. Wow. And I'm so glad that I did to be able to help this mission continue to move forward, to help the conversation to move forward. It was very important to me and my wife. We have kids. We have 5. And so it was very important to us to have meaningful conversations with our kids at young ages. And that's what Sapria was giving us, is an opportunity to help in that prevention side as well, to be able to, help our kids understand body parts and body language and just maybe different terminology that not everybody is communicating with their children. But as you guys know, and research shows that the more conversations we have with our kids, the less likely it is that they would be abused.
I tell people all the time, we're not asking the right questions. Yes. We're not asking, has anyone made you feel uncomfortable? We're not asking, has anyone touched you in your private parts? Has anyone shown you naked pictures? We're not asking those really important questions. Yeah. And kids, it's so uncomfortable for parents to talk about. Like they really dread that conversation when it's one of the most important conversations they can have with their children.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think as you have those conversations, it just becomes kind of a commonplace topic in the home, and your kids then feel comfortable coming to you
if something happens,
right? And so that's kind of the culture that we've tried to create in our own family of just open communication. Like this is not a taboo topic. Like we talk about this openly. It's not something that we shy away from or that is silly or funny, or we're creating funny names for body parts. Like, no, we're speaking anatomical, and we're speaking up front. And I think it helps our children get a sense of comfortability to where if they are uncomfortable, they're like, hey, I got a question. Yes. And they're not afraid to say that. Yeah. Where and as I grew up in a great family,
Yep.
a great home, but we never had kind of like this dialogue.
Really?
Yeah.
And so it was just interesting. Like when I had questions, like I just didn't feel comfortable going to my parents and be like, hey, like, what about this? Or what about that? Or I heard this on the bus, or, the sex ed at school, like they were talking about this and never heard that before. And like, those were not questions that I was comfortable going to my parents with.
Yeah.
Just, and no fault to my parents or anybody. It just wasn't something that I was comfortable with.
Right.
So if you're listening, you need to have a conversation with your children today if you've not had that conversation, and try to start breaking down some of the barriers so they can come to you and ask.
Absolutely. I have 4 kids. And so we were all sitting at the dinner table one day, and my 6-year-old boy walks in. He's like, Mommy, my penis is feeling weird right now. And it's my husband, it's me, and our 3 girls. And my husband, he's a little bit more conservative than I am, would you say?
Yeah, a little bit.
And he looks and he's like, and I see his face and I'm like, oh, so what's going on? And we're starting to talk about it. And so my husband just kind of gets into the conversation. And then later he's like, oh my gosh, like we're teaching our kids the right way. I was like, you absolutely are. Like they have to know this stuff.
Yeah.
Even knowing the anatomical names of their body parts is so important.
It's so huge.
If something happens.
It is because there's so many times where those words are not used, and they attorney wants to say, oh, well, actually that could mean this or this or this. So who knows, so it's very important. So I just co-sign with what you're saying for sure. It's funny sometimes too. And it can be, kids, it just comes out.
It does.
It just comes out. So however it comes out, be ready to help them through it. So, yeah.
So help us to understand the different programs that Supriya offers.
Yeah. So, and again, thank you for this opportunity just to share this. Supriya was originally founded, from a survivor healing journey, but quickly we developed prevention materials. So our whole mission at Supriya is to liberate individuals in society from child sexual abuse and its lasting impacts.
It's beautiful.
That is our whole mission. Everything that we do as an organization leads back to that one statement. And so within that, we have prevention resources. We obviously have healing resources, and then we're all about awareness, just trying to continue in that conversation. So on our prevention side, we really gear our resources towards parents. So as you said, like, hey, parents, go talk to your kids today.
Yes.
Supriya has resources to be able to help parents facilitate that conversation. A lot of parents feel uncomfortable or don't know what to say, or, okay, my child's this age, what should I be talking about? Like my son's 6-year-old, he's talking about his penis and like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? So we've actually broken it down for parents to understand, okay, if you have a toddler or an infant or a school age child or a teen, or, really to help parents feel empowered and have the confidence to talk to their kids and know that they are talking about age appropriate material.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So that is a big thing for us, is prevention and our prevention resources. We also have parent resource classes. So we talk about, one of our main classes is the top 5 ways to reduce the risk of child sexual abuse. And so we go into just things that parents can be aware of, and communicate with. And, we talk about sleepovers and we talk about,
So do you know those 5 things off the top of your head
so
to
let
go
me,
through?
let me think if I
If not,
can.
we'll put it in the link.
Yeah,
for sure.
let me put it in the link, because I don't teach the class often.
Sure.
But
And I have another question. So are these classes available online?
yes.
Okay, perfect.
So, and they're free. So
Perfect.
everything that Supriya does is free. All of our resources, from prevention to healing to our awareness resources, all free.
How beautiful.
That was so important to the Maxfields as they founded Supriya, to be able to eliminate barriers at which one would have to get these resources. So, financial can be a huge barrier,
Yes.
especially in the healing journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they wanted it all to be free. So our prevention classes, we facilitate those online pretty regularly. And we can drop a link of where our Eventbrite classes are, and they can see all of those prevention classes. So they can tune in. But if there's a organization, a church group or a mom's group or, this or that, that they want us to come just talk to them directly, we can do that virtually, or we can do that in person as well.
That's awesome.
So, we're very fortunate to be able to have, amazing resources and amazing reach to be able to get these resources out there.
And then tell us about the healing resources for our survivors.
Yeah, so we have really 4 main healing resources. Our first is our retreat. Our Sapria retreat. It's 4-day, in person, really helping that survivor holistically in their healing journey. So they come to us. So they have to pay their way. So it's out in the Salt Lake area in a beautiful, beautiful cabin, essentially. It sits on 60 acres.
Wow.
It's just amazing. We host our retreat about 33 weeks out of the year.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So one of our main programs.
And how big are the retreats? How many survivors do you host at a time?
Yeah, so we do groups of 8.
Oh, perfect.
And we typically do 2 groups at a time.
Okay.
Age?
18 and older.
Okay.
That's really our demographic
Okay.
on the healing side, is a survivor that is 18 years and older who had experienced sexual abuse 18 years and younger.
Okay. And is this men, women? Who do you guys cater to?
Yeah, so right now our retreats are for women.
Okay.
And then we're actually, as we continue to expand our resources and our reach to provide healing for all, we actually have a trans femme retreat in December of this year to be able to, again, just continue to help healing for anybody. And then some of our other resources are available for men that we're just starting to pilot. It's always been in Sapria's mission and goal to provide resources for everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so we started with a female audience and are building on that.
Yeah.
So from our retreat, we have so that's 4-day, but they also have a 9-week curriculum that they have access to up to a year after attending retreat.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just 4 days and you go home and you're on your own again, but we continue to follow up and they have access to live and virtual classes throughout the next year.
That's awesome.
And then we've taken our 4-day retreat and really condensed it into a 3-hour healing webinar. And so that webinar we're doing on a regular basis as well. And that webinar is in English and Spanish.
Wow.
And so we're able to, again, just continue furthering our reach to survivors. And then from there we have support groups. It's modeled after the AA model. They're survivor-led, survivor-run. So we have a 27-week curriculum built that then we have 2 group leaders that want to start a group, and they basically, okay, here's where we're going to meet, here's when we're going to meet, here's how long we're going to meet, here's how often we're going to meet. They kind of handle the logistics of it.
So that's in person, or is that virtual also?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
those could be
wonderful.
both, because it's really up to the survivors that are leading that support group. And we have, I think, almost 100 operating support groups around the world.
Wow. That's really cool. That is cool. And so is Sapria, is it faith-based, or is it, tell me a little bit as far as like the
Yeah, great
background.
question. We get that question a lot. And so again, very important to our founders to be clinically based and research proven.
Okay.
Again, going back to providing healing for all, we really wanted to make sure that we were dialed in from a research and a clinical standpoint to help in any background, whether it's faith related or not faith related. Again, that could be a barrier that somebody comes if we're faith related, and different things like that. So we're strictly research driven and clinically proven. And that's very important to our organization.
Okay. Awesome.
Right.
Got it.
So we have support groups, we have retreats, we have care after retreats. Anything else to add in the healing?
Yeah,
aspect?
we have online resources
Okay.
that anybody can
And
consume.
we'll put your link below.
Yeah.
In
Absolutely.
this podcast.
Yeah.
And I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
Are the programs for the healing aspect of it, are they built upon each other? So do you have to go to the retreat first and then go to
Another good question.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So you can pick and choose what
Yeah.
would be the
So
best.
again, we're trying to meet survivors where they're at.
Okay.
So if a survivor is like, oh, going to an in-person retreat out
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere where I've never been before,
Yes.
that might be a little hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But maybe engaging in a healing webinar in the comfort of their own home, that might be a little bit easier. Or a support group that may be in person or virtual. Or again, our online resources that we have, they can consume those at their own pace. They're available. Even our support group material is available online that anybody can access. So we really try to meet them where they're at in their healing journey. And then, whatever they need at that time. You can only come to retreat once.
Okay.
So we do, try to be able to make that a good experience and help make sure that they're ready for that experience. So we have a clinical call and a medical call with all of our participants just to make sure that they're in a good environment to be able to receive that healing. Because as you both know, if somebody's not ready for that healing, it could maybe even do a disservice, or it's not as beneficial for that survivor to engage. So we really try to make sure it's going to be beneficial and that they are going to be safe and that the other participants that are attending are going to be safe, right? So, but you can engage in the webinar and then go to retreat. You can engage in the retreat, then go to the webinar, or the support groups or the online materials. It just kind of depends on the survivor and their needs.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you, and then I'll stop asking questions.
Yeah,
Oh, please.
I know.
Ask more.
Do you know the success rate of those that go through your program for the retreats and then maybe even for the webinars?
Yeah, so we did we had a third party research done on our retreats, and we're still building that on our webinar. But for our retreats, what they found was that a year after somebody attended retreat, they saw a 19% increase in the overall ability to cope with PTSD symptoms and just their coping mechanisms. So increasing that, but then it also decreased the actual PTSD symptoms by 37%.
Wow.
Good.
That's good.
And then they also found a 45% increase that their survivor had in overall life satisfaction.
Wow.
So really just some amazing numbers to be able to understand that this is having an impact in individuals' lives.
And creating such a sense of community. I think that's one of the most difficult things is people, they suffer in silence and they try to heal in isolation. And it really does take a community.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we find, even with our retreats, is that those survivors that are together, those groups, they will start a private support group.
Oh, yeah. They become
afterwards.
lifelong friends.
Yes.
And be able to continue in their healing journey together, that it's not open to others because they just want to continue in that sense of community and work together.
I
and
ran a
build on
support
that.
group for many, many years, and those that were in this support group faithfully are still lifelong buddies,
Yeah.
BFFs.
Yeah.
I see them on Facebook going on trips together
Oh,
and having
nice.
fun, and so it's cool to see that they're still healing.
Yeah.
They're still together. They still
Yeah.
have a support system,
Yeah, that's awesome.
which is awesome. Yeah, this work is hard, so I just applaud you. I applaud your founders. Love to meet your founders because they did it right. I think you have a lot of great small organizations in this country doing great work, but the funding around this issue is tough.
Yeah.
It is really, really, I know from experience, really tough.
Yeah, we're really fortunate for the Maxwells and kind of their vision. But we still are a public nonprofit, so we still do have to raise a third of our funding from outside sources. So we totally get that struggle, whether it's grants or family foundations or just galas or fundraising activities. So we're continuing to build that, to continue in our longevity and to support, the survivors that we're helping, and to continue to build our resources, right? I talked about our male resources being in pilot. We're still building those out. And that all comes with funding, right?
Yeah, it does.
Exactly.
And hinges on funding.
And definitely needed. Definitely needed. I think that's even more silenced than women.
Yeah.
And there are more resources for women. Well, tell us how our listeners could help or get involved with Sapria, and then how they could find you online.
So Sapria.org, first of all, is our website.
You want to spell it for us?
I was just about to say that.
And we'll have it in the link also.
But it's SAPREA.org. And there's a myriad of information on our website: how to volunteer, how to donate, how to fundraise, our resources, both prevention and healing, and continuing in that awareness. But I guess I just challenge listeners. How can you get involved? Like, how can the listeners, what does it look like for them? Can you continue to share on social media? Is that a good opportunity, right? Can you volunteer? Do you have the time? Do you have the bandwidth to volunteer? Because we love our volunteers. Every nonprofit loves and needs their volunteers, and we do as well. Are you able to donate? Is that $5 a month? Is that $10 a month? Is that just $5 one time? What does that look like for you and your family? Or can you host a fundraiser? That could be as simple as, hey, I want to get a group of friends together and talk about this topic, and maybe pull in $20 a person, or $10 a person.
Every little bit helps.
Every penny counts.
Amen.
And our founder always says that every penny counts, and every penny is sacred to our organization, and it is so true. We want to be good stewards of our donors' dollars. And that's why we're so fortunate to have the Maxfields cover all of our operational expenses, so that dollar that is coming in from the public, dollar for dollar, goes to that programming that they want it to go towards, right? That they intended it to go towards that survivor in their healing journey, or that parent that's looking for prevention education. It's going directly into our programming.
That's awesome.
So Tucker, when we have a guest, we always ask them for a voice of inspiration, for Voice Up for the Voiceless. So we're going to ask you to look into that camera and just talk to our audience and just speak from your heart. And
Ooh, okay.
put you on the spot.
No, that's good. Hopefully I make it through this. But because it's a hard thing to go into your healing journey, to really dive into that. But the amount of growth that happens within that journey is just amazing to see. And so I just encourage listeners and survivors, supporters, whatever your background, whatever your support in this cause is, whatever your connection into this cause is, just find a way to continue talking about it. Continue the conversation. If you're a parent, have conversations with your kids. If you're a survivor, I hope that you go to our website and see those resources and feel comfortable filling out an application to attend retreat or our healing webinar, or just maybe joining a support group. Just engaging in your healing journey, no matter where you're at in that journey. And then a supporter. If your spouse or loved one or family member or friend is a survivor, just support them. Learn what you can do to support them. We've got resources on our website as well for that. So just continue to have that conversation and be able to just talk about it in your particular sphere of influence, because I guarantee that somebody in your sphere of influence needs Supriya's resources.
So that I'm gonna ask one more question, and then we're gonna close. But so what statistics are you guys quoting? Because they're all over the place, everywhere you look.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So we use a CDC study that shows 1 in 4 girls will be sexually abused before the age of 18, and 1 in 10 boys
1 in 10. Yeah. So
before the age of 18. So
somewhere around in there. Well, we've been so blessed to have you, Tucker, and so blessed for the work that you're doing. And just thank your founders for us, because there are not enough resources out there for survivors. So very grateful to have learned.
Yes.
We're so grateful that you have tuned in with us today. We are Voice Up for the Voiceless, trying to give a voice in this dark subject of child sexual abuse. We're so grateful for Mesmerized Media that makes this podcast possible. And so we hope that you'll tune in next week. I'm Angela Williams.
And I am Krista Marshall, and thank you so much for being with us, and have a great day.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.